In the manager's office I found a contract with my name written by hand in the margin. I was not hired to do a job. I was the job. Welcome to Untold Lore's 11 Years of Silence Part 2 of 4. I did not run. Running felt like the wrong move when I did not yet know how many exits there were. I stood up from the desk and pressed my back against the wall next to the door, listening. The hallway outside was quiet. Too quiet, the same wrong quiet as the lobby downstairs. My breathing was loud in my own ears. I counted to 10, nothing moved. I went back to the laptop. If someone was watching me right now, running would not help. Understanding might. I went deeper into the files. The surveillance records were not just photos. There were typed logs, dated the same way the photos were, almost daily entries going back years. The logs tracked where I went, who I spoke to, what jobs I took. But they also tracked something else. Every few months a log entry was flagged in red. I counted 7 red flags across 11 years. I clicked the first one. It was dated the same week I turned down a job offer from a company called Meridian Data Solutions. I had never heard of Meridian since then. I had forgotten that I ever turned them down. But someone had flagged that refusal as significant. I clicked the second red flag. It was from 3 years later, the week I accidentally recovered data from a corrupted drive that belonged to a shipping company. Now, reading the log note beside the red flag, my stomach dropped. The note said only 4 words: he saw the manifest. I had not seen any manifest. I had recovered spreadsheet files and handed them over without looking. But whoever wrote this log did not know that. They thought I had seen something. They had been worried about me for 3 years over something I had never even looked at. I was not being watched because I was dangerous. I was being watched because someone was afraid I might become a problem. That distinction made it worse, not better. I needed to know who else was on this island. I left the laptop running and moved into the hallway, keeping close to the wall. On the floor above me, something creaked. I stopped. A single slow footstep, then nothing, then another one. Someone was walking on the 3rd floor, directly above my head, and walking slowly, like they were not in a hurry, like they knew exactly where I was. I did not go up. I went down to the resort's back offices. I had noticed a door behind the check-in desk when I first came in. It was locked, but a bent paperclip and 2 minutes solved that. Inside was a storage room and a small manager's office. On the desk in the manager's office was a folder. My mouth went dry when I touched it. The folder was labeled with Foss's name. Inside was a printed contract to hire agreement, not for a data job, for a containment operation. The contract listed a primary subject. The subject's identifier was a case number, but beside the case number, in handwriting, someone had written my name. I was the subject, the whole drive, the whole job offer, the whole trip to this island. It was never about erasing the data. It was about getting me somewhere isolated and contained. The word contained was circled twice in the margin. My hands were steady now in the way hands go steady when the fear gets too big to shake. I photographed every page of the contract with my phone. Then I heard a door open above me. Not a slow creak, a sharp, deliberate open and close, like someone announcing they were ready to move. I turned off the office light. In the dark, I pressed against the wall and thought very hard about the layout of this building. 1 main entrance, a back door I had not yet tested, a dock with no boat, an island with no ferry service for 2 months. And somewhere above me at least one person who had been paid to make sure I did not leave. Then my phone buzzed. A text message, no number attached. It said, "You should not have read the logs, Rio. We could have made this easy." I was not a loose end they had just found. I was the reason they built this entire trap. And someone on this island had been waiting for me to figure that out. That's it for part 2. Follow Untold Lores for part 3. Like and subscribe for daily stories.